What's up, guys? This is Chris here, and today we're going to do another First Shots. Today we're going to be shooting a handgun, the FN 509 subcompact. I've actually been looking to get my hands on this for a while because I've had quite a few 509s and I've been reasonably impressed with all of them but the LS Edge, and the only thing I didn't really like about it is it was super expensive. First off, it comes in FDE, and I'm a kid of the 90s, so I really like flat dark earth on pretty much everything. If it's not OD green, it's flat dark earth, and I really like how the gun looks coming out of the box. It's a striker fired polymer frame pistol, which makes it really good for everything. The 509 series is very popular, so accessories and stuff are all available, and you can use the magazines that come with it, the 12 round magazine and this 24 round magazine, or you could even use all the other 509 mags that work great in the full size pistols. All the 509 mags should work on the subcompact because it's the shortest, so all of them will work. There's a lot of bugs and shit out today. But getting past that, some of the features that are more unique with it is that we have kind of a blocky slide, but what that does is allow you to grip it really well. And it obviously has a pretty decent optics mounting system on it. So if you were to put an optic on the rear, you can grab the front and activate the slide, which I like a lot. But obviously the rear is very grippable as well. And you see my wife, so obviously I like that. The threaded barrel is a nice touch. A suppressor would look very funny on this, and we'll probably do that at some point. And then we have suppressor height sights that will co-witness with your optic, which is pretty cool. Down here we have an optics rail and we have their trigger. This is not the newest trigger they have in the Reflex, which I prefer, but it is still pretty decent. Down here we have the world's worst AMB magazine release, which actually got stuck when I was playing with it yesterday. That is the one biggest downside of the FNs, but don't worry, we'll look past that. Great texture on the grip. On the rear and front we have this blocky texture, and then in the middle we have a medium texture, and then at the top we have a lighter texture. Whatever, I guess. Diversity is good, I suppose. And then we obviously have ambi controls. So I like the FN 509 series. The small ones certainly give you a lot for the money. They're generally pretty accurate, they're generally pretty reliable, but hell, we'll have to find that out today. Before we go out and shoot though, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have all the cool guns and ammo on the channel, and if you like our reviews, that's the best way to support us. Just go down in the description below. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down and donate to those kids. I also want to mention the sponsor of this video, Brownells. It was sent to me by Brownells, and we really appreciate them for sponsoring the video. Awesome Iowa company. They're only about an hour south of me. I love those guys. So we got a couple mags loaded up with Blazer Brass. Want to thank Manning for that. And I also have Federal 115 grain here, and then we have some 124 grain as well. We'll be trying in a little bit. So we have a few different types of ammo, and we'll just see how it runs. Now, one of the things that I've noticed right away is that it does have a pretty ridiculous set of sights. I'm a little concerned about that because the FN Reflex we tried a couple weeks ago, the sights are way off in the factory, but these look to be very sweet, so if they're on, I think it'll be a good shooter. Well, first hit at 75. I always say I should just end the video there. Tiny little gun, 75 yards.
Low right.
It's nice having a spotter. I like this magazine. The standard concealed carry magazine. Straight shank, that one. Fucking plain white target. We did just paint the target so they're as white as they're gonna get, and then this has white sights as well, which I'm not used to. I'm getting kind of old, so I prefer the red or the high contrast generally. So I'm like looking at it, and then my vision goes kind of fuzzy, and I miss one. I'm like, shit, focus, and then I'm like, trigger control. I just
all the things.
Yeah. Calm down. Man, this is a tough gun to shoot.
Is it?
Yeah, the trigger sucks. Yeah.
It didn't lock back?
If it weren't for that trigger and mag release, it'd be a hell of a gun. Now, triggers are obviously subjective, so I know there's going to be a lot of FN 509 fans out there saying the trigger is just fine. And if you like long and gritty and spongy triggers, then obviously this gun's for you. But for me, I don't love that it has the initial play. I've never been the biggest fan of these Fulcrum triggers. The original Gen 1 M&Ps had those, and I love the M&P, but I always knocked that as well. So again, personal preference. But you can see when we come down here, it is pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of grit running through here, and it is a very heavy pull. And then it kind of has like a stutter step, which confuses me a little, because I have to, when I was shooting those and I was hitting accurately, what I was doing is put my trigger finger further in, and I was kind of really trying to press on that right side of the trigger and then squeeze through that little stutter step like this. See that? That little jump? That's why I was missing. And then you have a clean break. So basically a lot like a double action revolver, you kind of have to stage the trigger.
Oh, interesting.
It just takes some practice, and like anything else, it's hard to jump from gun to gun to gun.
Yep.
And the fact that I was literally just shooting an Atlas Gunworks 2011 2 days ago, so I went from like a 2-pound single action trigger to this, I think is some of the issues that we're having.
Absolutely.
That is tough. I'm just really trying to focus on that trigger pull. Now again, if this was your only gun, you built that in a muscle memory, you did 1,000 reps of that, it wouldn't mean anything to you. It's just a thing where you switch gun to gun. It's like running my CZ75 in double action for the first time. I'm like, holy shit, that's a long trigger pull. And by the end of the session, I don't even notice. I'll take that. All right, now we'll try at a little more reasonable distance of 50 yards here. I think we'll get a little more hits. I don't go too fast anyway. Well, I missed a little one. Let's go for the big one. There you go. Jesus, maybe not. We didn't have lockback again. Second time in a row. Now I will say that this is certainly more accurate than the reflex was, just simply due to the sights being on the target from the factory. Now I think the FN 509 is a good gun, I just think it's more of a learning curve thing, you know?
Yep. Showing off.
I'm getting better at it now.
Well, it makes sense. You have to, you know, practice with it a little bit.
For sure.
Okay.
No lockback on any of the mags, and then also, I wonder if that's because of me riding the slide release.
Oh.
Traditionally, I've been known to do that. The old 1911 guy, first gun I ever learned to shoot was a 1911. There's a big goddamn manual safety right here. Gun I've shot the most, Shadow 2. Big goddamn manual safety right here. This feels like a manual safety, so it's probably me. Say when.
Help! I got fragged so hard.
Did you?
Yeah.
Maybe that was me trying to hit you with a ricochet.
Maybe.
I'm just that good. Okay. All right, so one of the things we talk about a lot is accuracy, and we're trying to show the extreme accuracy at distances like 50 or 100 yards. Now, I know those situations come up occasionally in self-defense, but for the most part, those self-defense distances are much shorter. So we're at about, I don't know, almost 20 yards here, as you can see. Really easy to hit with the gun. And now let's get a little closer, and we'll talk about realistic self-defense distances. So probably somewhere in the area of 10 yards here, I would imagine. Now let's get to a really realistic self-defense distance. Every situation that my life's ever been in danger in has been right here. Doesn't lock back though, big dumb finger. Yeah, it would work.
Those plates are boring though.
They are. They
don't ping
The Wilson
as much.
Combat ones don't ping like church
pings
bells, so
are
I don't
not
shoot
as
them very much.
sexy.
They're good targets, don't get me wrong, but one of the issues with them is that they fall over real easy, so I don't shoot them too much, because if I shoot them with anything else other than 9mm, they just fucking crater backward.
Short review.
It'll work. Doesn't lock back, but it certainly hits a target.
I chose this mag because, you know, I like them long.
Well, he's dead.
It locked back for me, so must have been your hands.
Yep. I think I
works.
was just riding the slide release.
It works.
So, pros and cons quick?
The texture is super aggressive. It did actually help me hold on to it because it is snappy because it's a smaller gun.
Sure.
I don't love the trigger, but other than that, I feel like it was pretty good.
Yeah. You like it better or worse than the Reflex? It's kind of its main competitor. The Reflex is the FN Micro 9, and this is their subcompact.
I mean, I like them bigger because it's easier to control, but
Sure, until you gotta carry it, right?
Yeah, until you have to conceal it. I love days when you wear a black t-shirt. You look so fine.
I can only do it with flat dark earth guns.
I know, I
You can't,
know.
when I hold the gun up like this, I like wearing black t-shirts, but they do complain you can't see the damn gun. And what are you gonna do? The FN 509 subcompact is impressive. I mean, I like this better than I like the LS Edge, and the LS Edge is like 1,500 bucks. It's a cool gun.
Win.
Yeah, it's interesting. First off, one of the big attributes that it has to it is it does, in my opinion at least, look cool. Obviously that's subjective, but the 509 series has always looked pretty sweet to me, and part of that is due to the rear sight that they use. I do like the hooded rear sight, or whatever you call that, the protected rear sight. It's obviously excessive and it's unneeded, because, I mean, every other pistol I've ever owned that I've carried, I've never had a fucking rear sight get knocked out, but it's cool. It's cool. It looks nice, and obviously it makes for a great optics mounting system. The 509 is known for that. Reliable gun. We didn't have any malfunctions or even remotely. Obviously, all of these slide lock failures are my big dumb thumb. It's not that uncommon. It's actually a pretty common thing a lot of people do, and I do highlight that a little bit because of the way I shoot and the size of hands I have. However, that is a problem a lot of people experience, so if you experience that on other guns, you're definitely going to experience that on this because of the extended slide release that sticks out right where you want to put your thumb. That being said, there's actually a way that you can easily defeat that, and you can still use that same grip if you want, because for the most part, in self-defense, reloads are almost non-existent, and if you do practice reloads just coming over the top instead of using the slide lock or slide release, you can avoid that issue altogether. You can just reload and just come over the top and use the slide every single time. Very James Yeager-like. Now, is that the fastest method? No. But reliable will always beat speed, in my personal opinion. So if you have that issue, just go that route or train through it and fix it, one or the other. The slide serrations are easy to use. I'm always a big fan of that. A lot of people talk about that in the comments, but the reality is you manipulate the slide all the time. Especially if you're shooting fast and stuff like that, malfunction clearance, all that stuff. Slide manipulation is important, and the FN has a really good handle on how to mill a slide. The threaded barrel coming out of the factory, super awesome. That usually costs you, you know, 150, 200 bucks aftermarket if you don't get one of those, and that allows you to put a suppressor on it if you want, and if you don't want to, it's just there looking cool. Raised sights for the optic is nice. You have to buy those extra generally as well. Texture's nice. If you get a Glock, you got to stipple it. You don't have to stipple this. That's super awesome. That's one thing I like about the M&P. That's one thing I like about the 509 series. There's a lot of added value here because a lot of this stuff, you got a Glock pistol, you would have to add it. Whereas this, it already comes with it right out of the box. Big old trigger guard, that'd be good for gloved hands. I would probably, if it were me and I was going to carry this gun, I would definitely do something about the trigger. While the trigger is functional and accurate and reliable, don't get me wrong, it is not good. It is heavy, it's spongy, and it takes a lot of getting used to. Like I reference the double action revolver because the double action revolver has been doing it for a long time and you can get used to it, but it's not an ideal trigger pull, whereas neither is this. Going down to the worst part of the gun is going to be the ambi magazine release, which I've hated on every FN 509, and it just keeps on coming back for more on the subcompact. Now, part of that is because of just the extreme amount that you have to push into it in order for it to unlock the pistol. And a lot of the times the magazine just gets stuck in the magazine well. And honestly, if you want to make a left or right hand magazine release, you could just make it swappable, because most people don't shoot with the other hand very much. So a left-hander could easily pop it out and put it in, and they would have a better system. And that is what they did with the 509, or the new Reflex. So I can tell that even FN decided that this magazine release is just basically bullshit. Now, if you want an ambi-mag release on your pistol, and that's why you're buying this, I would look into a lot of the European style paddle magazine releases, like on the VP9 series. Those tend to work much better than this one personally. The grip itself was great. The recoil pulse was really smooth. I don't know how you felt about it, but it was very low recoil by comparison to at least a lot of the Micro 9s I've been shooting lately. Reminded me a lot of the same recoil as the CZ P10S. And that is one of the lowest recoiling subcompacts I've ever shot. Very nice on the recoil. Very accurate if you do your part. It's mechanically accurate, the sights are great, but the trigger does suck. I think it looks cool, I think it does the job, and it does it for a pretty good amount. And if you're into this pistol, I think it'll work for you. However, for me, it's not my absolute favorite, but it's certainly a good gun. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see a 1,000-round review of this, let me know in the comment section below. I don't know if you do or don't. I usually do them if they're very popular, if people really want them. Some guns are like niche guns, and even though they don't get a lot of views, there's a lot of people that want them. So the more people that tell me in the comment section, the more people that send me messages about it, the more likely you are to get a 1,000-round review. It's time consuming, it takes a lot of money. So if you want one, just let me know. If you want to see a versus on this, let me know that as well. I could compare this maybe to the Reflex, or maybe to other popular subcompacts like the Glock 26, which we have. We have the VP9 SK, I believe, which we haven't shot for you guys yet. Spoiler alert, that should be out in the next couple of weeks. And then we have a few other subcompacts as well. So let me know what you think. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support your local homeless shelters. Remember to recycle. I'll check you later.
It's almost like I turned you on 2 speed there. You said that real fast.